welcome to today's video. And today we're going to be taking a look at another brochure. So what have we done so far? So we got up to this one last time. So what we're going to be looking at now is a couple of items from 1985. The first one is actually from November 1984. And it covers the complete VideoStar home video range. So let's take a quick look at that and just see what has changed, what models are available, because I think we may, oh no, we're not saying goodbye to the 3V32 yet. We're actually saying hello to a couple of models. We got the 3V38, which is the high value one that doesn't have any remote. The 3V39, which obviously has the remote, or is it the other way round? I can't remember off the top of my head. So the 38 has high value video recorder. The 39 is another high value video recorder. Oh, I think it looks like the 39 is actually a replacement for the 38, so they both look like they are the same deck, except one's slightly newer than the other. Introduced in this particular brochure, we have the stereo 3V42. So that would have been a nice little slimline linear stereo track here, as you can linear stereo deck rather. No long play on that one, so that's almost sort of like the replacement for the 3V31. The 3V43, which was introduced for 84 or late 84, very high-end machine for its time. Long play, hi-fi stereo, which was a new development at the time, but also had standard full linear stereo as well, which was it was one of the rare decks at the time to actually have that. And still near the top of the range, the 3V32, which obviously gave us the long play and the stereo sound, but no hi-fi capabilities. You had to go up to the 43 for that. So both of those very worthy decks within their own right. This one's actually a lot more slimline than that one, so this one really is from the next generation VCRs, VHS VCRs. On this side we've got the 3V41, of which I have one in my collection, just need to get a couple of bits sorted out on it. And comes with the nice case. I have the case, but all of the foam has been destroyed, so I need to get new foam for mine, and also a nice bit of felt as well. And this, albeit in JVC trim, would have been the model of camera that they used in Back to the Future. Still got the other range of the little VHS-C compact video recorder and camera combo. Also got the adapter cassette as well, and a few other little bits and pieces that you could have got at that sort of time. Very strident blue jumpsuit there that that lady is wearing. So let's have a look at the next pamphlet. The next pamphlet this is an interesting one. This is the complete 1985 monitor television range, and this is dated June of 85. So a bit of interesting text on the back. The complete Ferguson television monitor range. Basically what it is it is a selection of accessories for home computers. And it seems that Ferguson actually sort of cashed in quite nicely on this particular market with these TX90s that had various audio-visual inputs, which were quite handy. And they also had the cassette as well. They also had a accessory for the Sinclair QL, so they were sort of gearing towards the Sinclair range of computers. However, these could have been used with the majority of home computers and home games consoles of the time, or video game systems. We also had this rather nice range of monochrome monitors, either with green pigment, orange, or a slightly lighter green by the looks of it. This one here, which is also a monitor, seems to, for some reason, to have a black and white image on there, so I'm assuming that that could have also been used as a black and white video monitor. So, rather interesting little series of machines and systems that you could have got access to at that particular time. So, on the 12-inch monochrome monitors, you either had 12-inch CRT, amber, long persistence green, or black and white. For socket-wise, you had composite video, TTL, or digital input signals with comprehensive sync. So composite was obviously your sort of standard. Resolution 80 characters per line by 25 lines, pretty much standard for the time, to be honest with you. And yeah, also the very standard terminal style monitors. I've never actually seen any of these in the field, but then again, they're probably slightly before my time. So yeah, what is quite interesting is they were sort of cashing in on that burgeoning IT market as well, which is quite nice. So we've actually got a bit of time left in this video, and I was actually going to do this in the next video, but why not do it today? This is where the range starts to get quite exciting. In 1985, 86, 1085, October 1985. Here we are. So pretty much now I think we've said goodbye to the TX10 and TX9, and we're firmly in the TX 100 and TX90 arena. The audio range has been slightly reduced. We do have this nice little hi-fi system, very in keeping aesthetics for the time. Let's get a bit of a zoom in on this. That's better. Move that more into the picture. There we go, perfect. Got the separate CD player. You can actually see that we've gone over to a more sort of black finish, which is in keeping with the time. Although you could still get the silver finish if you so desired. Looks like exactly the same models, to be honest with you. That's the HF01, HF02, CD02, CD03. Doesn't look like there's much difference between the selection there. Also got another compact disc player as well. That's the CD01. Still got this little system here. That doesn't seem to be changed from previous years. Nor does this one or this little one here. So it does seem to be a bit of crossover from 84 in this brochure. But we've lost all of the music systems. We no longer have those large sort of nice standard music centres anymore. We just have this small little music centre, which was sort of the general trend at the time. People were moving away from the music centres to these sort of more vertical configurations, presumably because they make more effective use of space, they're more compact, and if you so desired, you can change individual components to sort of suit the path of the times, upgrades which become available, etc. Portable range doesn't seem to have really changed that much. There does seem to be quite a bit of expansion on the personal stereo cassette players, so we've got 3 different models which are available here. This one is a 23, that's a 29, actually 1, 2, 3, 5 different models. That one looks like top of the range, very compact, and probably using the latest technology. Also looks like it's possibly auto reverse. Does have Dolby stereo as well, which is quite nice. That's the 3T29. Yep, stereo cassette player, Dolby noise reduction, metal tape facility, auto reverse with LED direction indicators, complete with lightweight headphones and belt clip. Very nice. Portable little cassette recorder, which could also be used with computers. Same with this one as well. So that's a computer dedicated one there. And then we've got a stereo range of portable stereos. We don't seem to have that really nice high-end one anymore. We've just got these sort of 2N options here, which sort of seems to sort of show the general move from Ferguson away from the audio side of things, focusing more on the video market, so television and VCRs. And then we come into the Ferguson portable television range, starting off with the two little portables here. Again, those are available with the TA127 battery adapter. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what chassis these use, so I won't even begin to speculate. These, I believe, are TX90s. These might actually be TX9s, so it's quite possible that TX9 has hung around for a little bit longer. It is also possible it's the TX90, I'll be honest, not 100% certain. But they were offering 14 and 16-inch portables. For some reason, they also offered these 14-inch portables as well, so I'm not really sure what the rationale was, if they were going to be the eventual replacement for these ones, possibly, because they were sort of a more fashionable monitor style, as you can see there. Also got the 14-inch and 12-inch monochrome portables. We don't have those 24-inch sets anymore, from what I can tell. Still covering the Ferguson monitors section here as well. So we've got the TX90 there with the AV RGB inputs. This one is quite interesting. This has actually got a Peri TV SCART socket to provide improved sound and RGB performance from computers having linear/analog RGB output. So that is actually quite a nice one to get hold of if you can. That's the MC05. If you ever find one of those, it has a SCART socket which might actually do RGB, which would be ideal if you want to connect a DVD player to it or a games console or something of that sort of nature. So the picture on that was probably quite sharp and rather impressive for its time. Then we've got the monochrome monitor range there as well. So that was the one that we saw covered in the pamphlet earlier. So we can actually see that they're moving the audio range away and focusing more on the current trends of the time, which was very much home and business computing. Now we're moving on to our large screen televisions. And we're starting off with our traditional range. I would guess these are probably going to be TX90s, I would say. TX100s on the 22s. Very similar appearance to the older TX10 and TX9 models. So Ferguson was still using sort of the same case design, but they had changed them quite a lot internally. Up to the big 26 inches, I think those are going to be TX100s. TX100s also drove the FST tubes as well. So this effectively was a more modern incarnation of the remote version of that 26-inch set, or 22 and 26-inch set. So 51, 21 inches, 59, 25 inches if I recall. Now, I seem to remember on rental you could actually get the larger version of this case, of this chassis, with an A66 540X tube. So you could have this exact fascia and frontage, but with the older 30AX tube. So we had one on rental with the Baird labelling, TX100, but with the older tube. And I've got to admit, the picture quality on that was pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very nice set. I do wish I'd had the foresight to actually ask when we replaced it if I could have actually bought it off of Radio Rentals. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to Teletech. Still making a big thing about Teletext, although not quite as in-depth as previous years. It does still have a 2-page spread, but it doesn't have the full 4-page spread that it had previously. Seems to be that Teletext is now more in the sort of general consciousness. More people have Teletext sets, so it's not really a huge thing that you sort of have to jump up and down and shout about. Now we've got our 16-inch Teletext portables. We've also got our 20-inch portable as well. I want to say that's a TX90. It could be a TX9 still, I'll be honest with you, not sure on that one. We've got the 22s and the 26s. They could actually be TX9s, TX10s. They could also be TX90s, TX100s. This is the thing about Ferguson's range at the time, is it seemed to use a mixture of components. They really certainly were getting their money's worth for the development that they put in in the late 70s into those sort of high technology chassis that they came out with in the 80s. The TX90 and TX100s were really just revisions of the 9s and 10s. This is a nice little set. It's 21-inch FST set. That's an FST set with teletext. Funny enough, our set, the big 66cm set that we had from Radio Rentals, was also a teletext setup as well. But a TX100, as I say, with a 30AX tube. It seems for the FST tubes, the biggest that they did was the 59cm or 29-inch, if I remember rightly. 25-inch, sorry. Incidentally, there was available for all of these sets a Peritel interface, of which, if I just scroll up and over and up there, you can see it tucked away on the shelf behind the calculator and the other bits. That is actually a Peritel interface for a TX100 chassis. And looking at it, having had it out of the box before, it is literally just quite a plug and play exercise. So, moving through, we go on to our stereo sets. This was a nice set. Never seen one of these in the wild, would like to get hold of one. Seems that it was only available in the 51cm size, so 21 inches. You could only get it in that size, which was a shame. That sort of would have lent itself quite nicely to the larger screen sizes as well. Very fashionable looking set for the time, very slick. Reminds me of the LX range from Bang & Olufsen, certainly in the appearance, or the Philips range of stereo sets that were sort of around at the time. We do have the old faithfuls, so we do have the 20 and 22 inch. I do wonder if they stuck with the TX9 and TX10 chassis for these, because these are basically the classic super sounds. Same appearance, nothing really changed there. Definitely a TX10 is this professional series, shown here with the 3V43 underneath, and still using the old model and, well, semi-new modelling number, the 22B5. This is interesting. So this is the 37493, which is an old model number. So that would have been TX9. You've got the 22B4, which was more in keeping with the newer line of model numbers. So the 22-inch version was sort of almost a model number before that one, which is interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. And through to the technical specifications. Accessories, we could get a Peritel connector for the 51A3, 51A2, 20A1, 21B1. Oh, you could also get it for the 22B4, the 20A3, the 22B3, the 51A3. They didn't do one for the 20-inch Super Sound, which is a shame. Although, from what I understand, the TX9 chassis in that is fully isolated, so you could retrofit one these days, should you desire. Then on to the Video Star range. 3V44, which seems to have seen an introduction here, is a high-value video cassette recorder. Moving on to the 3V45, which is obviously the 44 but with a remote. We used to have a lot of these in the late 80s, early 90s out on rental, obviously with Baird badging, but it was basically this deck with the remote control. Nothing really exciting, single event timer, remote, nothing really very exciting to be honest, but reliable. This is the next one up. This is the 3V42. Despite being a lower model number, it is actually a better deck than this because it has the stereo sound and the 8 recordings over 14 days. We seem to finally say goodbye and farewell to the 3V32, and we are introduced to the 3V48, which is a standard play, more entry-level hi-fi stereo video recorder. Moving on to the 3V43, which is top of the range, hi-fi stereo, long play. This one would have just been a standard play deck. But, again, we've moved up a generation because that is a very slimline VCR for the day. And really, video recorders didn't really sort of get any smaller than this throughout the 80s, unless you went for the portables, but the home decks didn't really get any smaller than this. Internally, they became sort of everything on one board, effectively, but the actual overall format, which was governed now primarily by the tape transport size, you didn't really sort of get any slimmer than the size that you got on this one. 3V43 is almost a generation behind size-wise, but is a better spec VCR than this one. It has long play, it has stereo sound, linear and hi-fi, multi-event timers, and many other features, which sort of made it quite a high-end deck for its day. And the 3V52 component video recorder as well, which is quite nice for the time. And two, not one but two video cameras. We had the 3V50 and the Back to the Future style camera here, the 3V41. Obviously in JVC form this was used in Back to the Future. Ferguson form it was not, but it's a nice claim to fame, so to speak. And that brings us to the end of 1985-86. In the next video and final video in this series, we are going to be taking a look at 1988. Things have changed quite drastically for 88, and we will be focusing on that next time. But for now, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and also subscribe. And I will see you next time. Take care.